As I said before, Swiflearn offers live interactive sessions which gives the child a chance to solve every single doubt that they have. There is a plethora of practice tests available as well for the child to solve and keep practicing to get better as time passes by. Some of our key features are, of course, Swiflearn provides detailed progress reports. It also provides academic test series, which gives a child to solve maximum question papers. Practice tests available as well to see their progress. There's also unlimited practice tests available and subjective tests for school exams as well. So without further ado, let's begin our lesson for today. We're learning subject verb agreement, a very simple, very fun topic to deal with. Today, we'll be understanding the difference between a subject, verb, and an object. After which, we'll be dealing with the relationship that the subject and the verb have with one another in a sentence. Post that, we'll be dealing with the different rules of conversion and testing our knowledge of tenses, of course, with lots of examples and application as well. So let's begin. What is subject-verb agreement? It's very simple. Like everything requires a balance, even your subject and verb need to be aligned with one another. That means they have to have similarity. They have to be similar. They must agree with each other. So if your subject is singular, your verb will also be singular. This creates a balance in your sentence. Look at our example given here. The dog drinks water every day. Over here, the dog is singular. So our subject is singular. Our verb drinks. Drinks is also singular as it is in the present tense. So as you can notice, the subject and your verb are aligned with one another. Now let's understand what our subject and verbs are. Let's begin with what is a subject. A subject is the main person or thing in a sentence. Now, this person or thing is being discussed, it's being described, or it's being dealt with. That means the person or thing is either doing the action or receiving the action. For example, Ram is eating an ice cream. Who are we talking about in this sentence? We're talking about Ram because Ram is performing the action. Ram is eating. So Ram becomes our subject. Look at our next sentence given below. Ria reads a book. Over here, Ria is our subject. Our verb is read because it's the action that is being performed, and our object is book. Now, always remember your subject is either going to be a noun or it's going to be a pronoun. After which we have our verb. We all know that our verb means an action word. So our verb is going to be an action which is performed by the subject. And lastly, we have our object, who is the receiver of the action. That means it's receiving the action that the subject is performing. Let's move on. There are 4 sentences given to you below. In these sentences, try to identify what the subject will be. What is the subject in these sentences? I'll give you a second. Go through these sentences. Let's do it together. Butterflies are beautiful insects. So over here, what is our subject? Butterflies, right? Butterflies are being described. So butterflies is going to be our subject. In the second sentence, she is going to the market. Very simple. Ask yourself the question, who is going to the market? And we get our subject. She, the pronoun she, is the subject in this sentence. Radha is running near the river bank. Who is performing the action? Radha. So Radha becomes our subject. Amit is reading a book. Who is performing the action? Amit. So Amit becomes our subject. I hope you've understood what the subject means. If you have any queries, please comment below. I'll be answering your questions in a while. Now let's move on. Look at our answers for our subjects: butterfly, she, Radha, and Amit. Now, what is a verb? For a long time, everybody has been telling us what a verb is. We have been describing a verb. So, a verb basically is your action word. Any action which we commit, any action which we perform is known as a verb. Now, your verb can show an action, it can show an occurrence or a state of being. State of being means your state of existence, who you really are or who the subject really is. Look at our examples. Ram is singing. In this sentence, we know what the action is. The action is singing, right? Scientists are developing a vaccine. Now, for the last few months, this is all we've been talking about because everybody requires a vaccine during this time. So this sentence is very relatable. We all understand it. Scientists are developing a vaccine. This is an occurrence that is taking place. There exist over 1,000 species of insects. This is our state of being verb exist. Okay, I'll repeat once more. Our verb is an action word which shows actions, occurrences, and state of being. There are 4 sentences in front of you. Why don't you try to figure out what is the verb in these sentences? I'll give you a second. Why don't we do it together? Butterflies are beautiful insects. What's our verb over here? Are. It's a state of being verb. She is going to the market. What is the action being performed? Is going. Radha is running near the river bank. Where is Radha running? What is the action? Running, right? So running will become your state of your action word. Amit is reading a book. Reading becomes your verb. So I hope you've understood by now what is a subject and what is a verb. Okay, look at our answers below. Are, is going, is running, is reading, as we mentioned earlier. Now we're going into the different rules that we have in our subject verb agreement. Okay, let's begin. The first rule in the subject verb agreement is if the subject is singular, the verb will be accordingly. This means that if your subject is singular, that means single one, then the verb will also be single. The verb will also be singular. Let's look at the example. The early bird catches the worm. In our sentence over here, bird is our noun. That means bird is our subject. Okay. Catches is our verb. Our catches is in the present tense. So we know that the subject and the verb are both singular. Okay. Let's repeat once more. If the subject is singular, the verb will also be singular. That means if the subject is the bird, that means a singular noun, the verb is also going to be singular. Let's move on to the second part of rule number 1. If the subject is plural, then the verb is also going to be plural. It's just the opposite of what was the first part of rule 1. If the subject is plural, the verb will also be plural. They play football. Over here in this sentence, they is the plural subject. We're talking about many people. And in this case, play is going to be in the present indefinite tense. So it's going to be plural as well. Let's move on to our second rule. Our second rule says that if 2 or more subjects are connected by and, they mostly take the verb in the plural form. Now, we know what's a subject. We've already understood what's a subject. Now look at this. Aslam and Riza. Okay. We have 2 subjects in front of us. Subject number 1 is Aslam. Subject number 2 is Riza. Now, if both these subjects are connected by and, okay, if both these subjects are connected by and, then our verb is going to be plural. I'll repeat once more. If we have 2 or more subjects, and these subjects are connected by and, then the verb will be in the plural form. Let's move on to our third rule. Rule number 3 says that if we have a singular subject, if we have a single subject, and before the single subject, we have the word each or we have the word every, then the verb will also be singular. If we have a singular subject and before the singular subject, we have the word each or the word every, then the verb will also be singular. Each of these medicines need to be taken. Okay, over here our singular subject is when we're talking about our medicines, and it is preceded, that means there is each before the our singular subject, then the verb will also be singular. Okay, I hope you've understood. Let's go to the rule number 4. In rule number 4, we are talking about two or more singular subjects connected by either or. They mostly take a verb in the singular form. This means if we have two or more singular subjects, that means if we have two subjects, okay, and these two subjects are connected by either, or they're connected by either or, okay, then the verb will also be singular. Look at our example. Either Rahul or Sachin will be elected as the captain. Let's break this down. Rahul is one subject, Sachin is the other subject. Okay, both these are connected using either or. Now, because they're connected using either or and both are singular subjects, our verb is also going to be singular. Okay, we look at the second one also. Either Harry or Ron will be elected as the prefect. Again, we have two subjects, Harry and Ron. Both these are connected using either or, so the verb is also going to be singular. Next is rule number 5. Rule number 5 says that if there are two subjects, the first subject is singular and the second subject is plural. Okay, if the first subject is singular and the second subject is plural, the verb will agree with the nearer one. That means it will agree with which subject is closer to the verb. Look at this example. Either Ria or her friends have to attend the function. So now see, the first subject is singular. The second subject is plural. So our verb is also plural. In the second one, neither Salim nor I am supposed to attend the wedding. Okay, the first subject is singular, the second subject is singular. That's why our verb is also singular, because our verb is agreeing with which subject is closer to it. Understood? I will repeat once more. If we have two subjects, okay, your first subject is singular, your second subject is plural, the verb will agree with whichever subject is closer to it. If the second subject is singular, the verb will be singular. If the second subject is plural, the verb will be plural. Next is rule number 6. In rule number 6, we're talking about two singular subjects. That means both the subjects are singular. And these subjects are joined together using neither nor. They are joined together using neither nor or either or. The verb will be singular. If the subjects are joined together using neither nor and either or, the subject will be singular. Now, look at the sentence. Neither you nor Ashu is guilty. Okay, neither you nor Ashu is guilty. The subject over here is singular. The first subject is singular. The second subject is singular. And both are connected using neither nor. Okay, for Santoshi, you asked if is common for both singular and plural. No, for singular we will use is, and for plural we will use are. Okay, for plural we always use are. Let's move on to our next rule, which is rule number 7. In rule number 7, we are talking about indefinite pronouns. What are these indefinite pronouns? Whenever we are talking about something where we are not giving complete information, we are not telling everything about your subject, okay? That's when we use indefinite pronouns. Now, which are the indefinite pronouns we are talking about? Everyone, each one, no one, someone, somebody, nobody, anyone, anybody. If we use any of these indefinite pronouns, then our verb is going to be singular. If we use any of these indefinite pronouns, then our verb is going to be singular. Okay? Now, is someone there to open the door? Okay? They're using an indefinite pronoun. But remember something. If we are using few, many, several, both, all, some, okay, if we are using any of these indefinite pronouns, then the verb is going to be plural. So these are exceptions to our rule. Okay, few, many, several, both, all, some are exceptions to our rule. Few slices of bread are kept in the container. Okay, so few slices of bread are kept in the container. Here we are talking about few. That's why our verb is plural. Our verb is are. Now let's move on to our next rule, which is rule number 8. But before we do that, let's do some exercises. Okay, there are a few sentences given below. Try to correct the errors in these sentences. What would the errors be in these sentences and how would you correct them? I'll give you a minute to go through them. Okay, let's do this. Reema and her cousins plays games every afternoon. What would the error be in this sentence? Reema and her cousins plays games every afternoon. It will not be plays, it will be play. Okay. The executives attending the seminar is returning back by noon. Okay. Executives is plural. So our verb is also going to be plural. Our answer will be are. The project list have been put up for display. It will not be have been put up. It will be has been put up. The committee members and the Secretary General has rescheduled their plans. It will be, what will the answer be? Yeah, it will be have rescheduled their plans. Neither Ria nor Sia are to be blamed. So what will be? What will it be? Neither Ria nor Sia is to be blamed. Okay, let's do some more. Why don't we try some more here? I'll give you a minute, just go through the sentences and then we can discuss them. Okay, let's do it. Everyone present in the tour agrees to take a flight next morning. Over here, we will say everyone present in the tour agree to take a flight next morning. Next sentence. Several soldier is injured and a few was dead during the war. Oh, there are quite a few mistakes over here. Several soldiers are injured and a few were dead during the war. The captain and his players plays for charity. The captain and his players play for charity. Many teachers and the principal participates in the tree plantation drive. Many teachers and the principal participate in the tree plantation drive. Each one of us want to live a lavish lifestyle and enjoys all the perks of life. Each one of us want to live a lavish lifestyle and enjoy all the perks of life. Shloka and Nandita is my good friends, but I prefers traveling solo. Shloka and Nandita are my good friends, but I prefer traveling solo. One of my favorite pastime are watching web series and sit are my favorite. One of my favorite pastime is watching web series and sit is my favorite. I hope you've understood and got the answers right. Now let's move on to our next rule. Okay, rule number 8. We all know what collective nouns are, right? Collective nouns are when we are talking about a group, okay? Irrespective if we are talking about a group or not, our collective noun will always have a singular verb. It's going to have a singular verb. For instance, a band of robbers has been caught. A band of robbers has been caught. So we are talking about a collective noun, but our verb is singular. Okay. Now, rule number 9. There are some words in the English language which sound plural. Okay. The word might have S or might have ES in it, which makes it sound plural. But actually, the meaning of that word is singular. It has singular meaning. So whenever we have such words, our verb will also be singular. For example, statistics is a difficult subject. Statistics is one of the branches of mathematics and economics, which we will learn later on. So statistics sounds it sounds like it's plural, right? It sounds like we're talking about many things. But actually, statistics is just one part, it's just one branch. So it is singular, which is why our verb will also be singular. Okay? Rule number 10. You've often heard about these words such as a pair of socks, a pair of tongs, a pair of scissors, right? We're talking about a pair. Whenever we talk about a pair of things, that's when we're talking about something which is singular. It is not plural. So our verb will also be singular. Okay? Like a pair of scissors was missing from the drawer. A pair of scissors. Okay, we're talking about only one pair of scissors. I'm not talking about two different scissors. No, just one pair of scissors was missing from the drawer. That's why we use was missing, which is singular. Okay, now moving on to our next part. Rule number 11. If the noun is plural, but it is denoting, that means it's talking about a quantity or an amount. Okay, it's talking about a quantity or an amount, then the verb is going to be singular. If the noun is plural, it's talking about a quantity or an amount, then the verb is going to be singular. For instance, 500 is a lot of money for this cup of tea. Okay, we're talking about a price, we're talking about money, right? So it's a quantity. 500 is the quantity, it's just denoting a plural quantity. So that's why our noun is going to be singular. That's rule number 11. In rule number 12, okay, now for all of us who we watch a lot of movies, we read a lot of books, right? Now, in these titles of movies or books, the title might sound plural, okay? Like look at our example, the Avengers, right? Everybody, we've all watched the Avengers. So the Avengers sounds plural, okay? But in such cases, even though the verb sounds, the word sounds plural, our verb is going to be singular. I'll repeat myself. Titles of books, movies, which sound plural, the verb is still going to be singular even though the word itself sounds plural. Okay? Now we have rule number 13. When a proper noun is used in the plural form, it must be followed with a singular verb. Whenever we're talking about proper nouns which are in the plural form, okay, in itself, the proper noun is in the plural form, then the verb is going to be singular. For instance, the United States has a strong leader. We're talking about United States, which is a proper noun, right? Because it's a country. Now, states in itself is plural, right? So the verb is going to be singular. So whenever we have proper nouns, we are going to use the verb in the singular form. Okay, I hope this is clear. Whatever doubts you'll have, whatever questions you'll have, I will be solving them as soon as we're done with our rules. Okay, rule number 14. In rule number 14, we are talking about those nouns which are plural on its own. Okay, why are they plural? Because they are talking about a specific quantity or a specific amount. For instance, when we're talking about money, right? We talk about money in large quantities, like we'll say 100 rupees or we'll say 50 rupees or 1,000 rupees. Okay, whenever we're talking about a quantity, we're talking about it in the plural form, then the verb is going to be singular. For instance, 100 rupees is too much for these earrings. Now, 100 rupees is a plural quantity, right? It's a lot. It's not just one, it's plural. So that's why our verb is going to be singular in this place. Okay, that's our rule number 14. Why don't we try solving these questions? The options are given to you in the bracket. You have to find the suitable form of the verb and fill in the blanks with the suitable form of the verb. You can try that. Okay, let's do it together. Many books from the library dash missing. What will you fill in the blank over here with? Is or are? We're talking about many books from the library. Yeah, the answer will be are missing. Very good. And the assistant dash taken the responsibility. So what will you add here? The assistant. So we're talking about one person, right? So has taken the responsibility. In the second sentence, the team dash happy on winning the match. The team is happy on winning the match. Very good. And denied the various rumors. What are we talking about? Rumors of rift between the players. In the third one, mathematics dash not a subject where everyone. So what are mathematics? The word sounds plural. So what will it be? Is. Yes, very good. Is not a subject where everyone dash to study. Is or are? Is keen to study. Yes. In the next one, I prefer to dash my favorite pair of jeans on weekends. I prefer to wear my favorite pair of jeans during the weekends. Very good. Okay, we have some more. Why don't you try doing these and then we can solve it together. Yeah, come on, let's try this. She charges 2,000 rupees for this course, which dash considered to be very less. She charges 2,000 rupees for this course, which is considered to be very less. Very good. Next. Slow and steady dash the race. This we've heard so many times. What would the answer be? Slow and steady wins the race. Very good. The next one. Each of the family member dash given a gold coin. So what will the answer be? Each of the family member was given a gold coin while all the youngsters dash given a box of chocolates. All the youngsters were given a box of chocolates. One of my uncles dash studied at the Oxford University. One of my uncles has studied at the Oxford University. Right. The ninth one. Half of the class dash absent yesterday. Half of the class was absent yesterday. Most of the flowers dash in the spring. Now we're talking about flowers. So what will the answer be? Come on, comment in the comment section. I will look at your answers. Most of the flowers dash in the spring. What will it be? Bloom or blooms? Waiting. Absolutely right, Santoshi. It is bloom. Most of the flowers bloom in the spring. Very good. Okay, very nicely done. Now, these are the answers which we've already gone through. Okay, now let's try some more. Use the correct form of the verb. Okay, so these sentences are given here to you. Why don't you try using the correct form of the verb? Whatever is wrong, correct it and tell me what's the answer in the comment section. Absolutely right, Lakshay. Very good. It is bloom, the previous answer. Now, over here, use the correct form of the verb. What will the correct form of the verb be? So our local post office are very huge. What will be a change that you would make over here? We're talking about one place, right? So our local post office is very huge. It are in a new building. It is in a new building. Many people is working there. Many people, what will you change over here? Are, very good, are working there. Very good. There is several counter at the post office. What will you add over here? There are several counters at the post office because you're talking about many counters, right? So it's going to be counters, plural with an S. Very good, Santoshi. Very good, Lakshay. Very nicely done. At one counter, you will receive stamp and at another, you will get form. Now, there's something wrong. What is wrong in this over here? At one counter, you will receive stamps, right? Stamps, plural. And at another, you will get, what will you get over here? Come on, quickly type. Let me see what's the answer. What will the answer be over here? I'm waiting for you all. Forms, absolutely. It is forms. Very good, forms. Okay. Now, in our second one, very few people is born blind. Now, what will you add over here? What will the change? What will the change be? Yeah, Santoshi, will is used double. It's used twice. There's no problem. Okay, will can be used for both your singular and plural, as you had asked before. It can be used both the cases. There's no problem with that. Now, as I was saying, very few people is born blind. What will you put over here? We're talking about people, right? So it's plural. So is going to change to are born blind. Some is blind due to sickness and others by an accident. Some are, very good. Some are blind due to sickness and others by an accident, right? Singular accident, not many accidents that led to this unfortunate case, but this is a singular accident that has caused it. Great job, very good. Now let's try this one. Okay, our third one. A traffic policeman direct the traffic and make the road safe. A traffic policeman, he's done. What is he doing? What is his action? He's directing, right? So directs the traffic. A traffic policeman directs the traffic and makes the road safe. Okay? His life are full of dangers and hardship. His life, what would you put over here? His life is full of danger and hardship. He arrests the one who violates the traffic rule. He arrests the one who violates the traffic rule. Very good job. Absolutely. Santoshi, you said there's no correction required in the last sentence of the first question. Could you just tell me which question you're talking about? Are you talking about this one? Just let me know so I can get back to you on that. Okay, now for the fourth one. My mother are a simple woman. You're talking about your mother. So one person, right? So my mother is a simple woman. She wake up at 6 every morning. Present tense, right? We've learned present tense. She wakes up at 6 every morning. She have a bath and perform her prayers. Again, one person we're talking about. So she has a bath and performs her prayers because of our present tense. She are very kind and waste no time. What will you do over here? She is very kind and wastes no time. Okay? All forms of food received from plant is the best source of nutrient. So if we are talking about all forms of foods, we're talking about many foods, right? Received from plants. If it's foods, okay, we're talking about foods, which is plural on its own. So automatically these things are also going to become plural. If you're talking about a collective, the other things will also be plural. Is the best source of nutrients, right? Nutrients. From all this, the best is vegetables. Vegetables provide minerals and vitamins that the body requires. Very good. Great job. Yes, I'll just get back to the first one as a Santoshi question. You asked, our local body post office are very huge. It is a so you said there's no correction required in the last sentence. At one counter, you will receive, oh, see, you are not only receiving one stamp, right? You are receiving many stamps, okay? So different types of stamps are available at that counter. So that's why it's going to be stamps. It's going to be plural, okay? And at another, you will get forms. Not only one form, different types of forms are available at the post office. That's why in the last sentence, it will be stamps and forms. Okay, I hope that clears your doubt. Okay, now these are the answers as we just discussed, and I've seen your answers as well. You all are doing exceptionally well. It's a great job. Okay, we come to us our word of the day. Today, our word is pessimism. Okay, what does pessimism mean? Pessimism is very negative. Okay, it's this belief that we have that bad things are going to happen. Okay, that something bad is happening. Okay, that's the meaning of pessimism. Look at the example given here. There is now a mood of deepening pessimism over the economy. That means, across our country, let's talk about our country, okay? We feel there's a mood, okay, of deepening pessimism. That means everyone thinks that bad things are going to happen to our economy of our country. Okay, I hope that you've learned a new word today. Also, a small suggestion, the opposite of pessimism is optimism. Okay, optimism is being positive about things. Whenever you're positive about something, the word is optimism. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the class. I hope this was helpful to you all and I've solved your doubts. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Related to subject verb agreement and what we've done today, please let me know. I will be waiting for your comments. Okay then. Okay. Thank Thank you so much, and I hope that your questions have been answered and you all have understood the different rules of subject verb agreement. Thank you so much, and I will see you all very soon at Swiflearn.